Hi guys, I'm Jen, and I make useful English Lit study videos on Shakespeare, poetry, fiction, literary devices, and more to help you get top grades. So in this video, I'd like to address one of the biggest pitfalls students tend to face when taking English literature exams, and that is time management. Time management! So how can we write a stellar essay under time constraints? Well, a lot of students may be able to write excellent analysis, but the stress that comes with limited time often ends up compromising their performance. So if this sounds like you, or if you also struggle with managing your time well in exam essay writing conditions, then make sure you watch the entire video to find out what you can do to solve this problem once and for all. So the term essay writing is actually a bit of a misnomer because any essay writing task would actually include more than the writing itself. And just as important as the actual writing is actually the planning that goes on beforehand. Too often we rush into writing down whatever first comes to mind once the clock starts ticking, partly because we're terrified of staring at a blank page, and partly because we're scared we'll run out of time if we don't start writing immediately. Ironically though, spending more time on quality planning often ends up saving you time in the actual writing process. By outlining our key argument, points, and examples we wish to include in our essay, we'll be sketching a clear roadmap to guide us through the entire writing journey, which means less chance of us reaching halfway only to realize that our argument doesn't make sense. And it also means less anxiety over what to write about in the next paragraph once you reach the end of the current paragraph. So that's why it's so important to have a solid idea as to what your essay will look like from the get-go. Because without a strong plan, you'll essentially be crossing a river in the dark, as your mind deals with the added pressure of juggling and recalling bits and pieces of information as you're scribbling frantically on the essay paper. So, save yourself the trouble and set aside at least 20% of the total exam time for essay planning before you even start writing the real thing. So, I know we're doing English Lit, but when it comes to timed essay writing tasks, a bit of basic calculus can be helpful for what I like to call time chunking. This is the practice of allocating a specific duration to each stage in your essay writing. For excerpt-based tasks, there should be 5 stages, including reading, annotating, planning, writing, and proofreading. And for prompt-based tasks, there would only be the planning, writing, and proofreading, because there would be no excerpt given. The writing stage should obviously take up the most of your time, with planning coming in second, followed by reading and annotating, and finally proofreading, which should take about 5 minutes, but no more than that. Depending on how long a passage is, if it's an excerpt-based task, of course, and how fast of a writer you are, you'd want to experiment with the time ratios in your essay practices or your mocks. But a reasonable distribution could look something like this. One more important note is to make sure that you keep to the time chunks that you've set for yourself. And the best way to be disciplined about this is to actually put a watch right in front of you while you're doing your exam. Apart from its obvious function of reminding you of the time, the watch can also serve as a visual cue to constantly keep you on your toes, so that you'll be less inclined to dawdle and you'll be forcing yourself to move on to another stage once you see that time for a specific chunk is up. By the way guys, I'd massively appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button below, subscribe to my channel, and switch on that bell notification if you find this video helpful so far. This would really help me carry on making these useful English Lit study videos so that you can get top grades in the subject and we can inspire more people to enjoy the study of literature. Guys, here's the deal. There is always going to be more points than we can write about in an essay. Even for a short play like Macbeth, there could be upwards of 10 themes, and the pool of quotations available for any text is bound to be larger than the select few will end up using in any essay. There's a limit to how much we can write for any essay, time or untimed, because part of the point of writing an essay is to convey a specific perspective on a specific topic. Remember, an essay is not an encyclopedia, so don't try to fit everything in just because you've prepared for it and that you've spent lots of time memorizing the quotations, so God forbid they should go to waste, right? Well, no, don't try to stuff everything in. because you can't and you shouldn't. This is also where a good essay plan comes in handy, because it forces you to narrow down your arsenal of information to the most relevant key points, and to be selective by considering why certain quotations or ideas are better for your essay topic than the others. So do that instead of information dumping whatever's in your head onto the paper. So my last point actually has nothing to do with words, but with the non-verbal elements, like line spacing and asterisks. These are actually great tools that would give us a bit of leeway as last-minute remedies, because skipping lines when you write gives you the option of adding in extra information if you want to do so retrospectively. And it also makes the proofreading process much easier because you'll have enough space to cross out words without squishing in the new ones, making it really easy for your marker to follow your script. Asterisks can also be helpful as a way to indicate additional or amended information, as long as you indicate the sentences you want to change with a clearly marked out asterisks, and reference that with a corresponding asterisk remark at the bottom of the same page or at the very end of your essay. Just make sure that you mark everything out legibly and don't overuse the sign, because ultimately it's about making the examiner or your teacher's experience of reading the essay as pleasant as possible. And if you lead them on a wild asterisk goose chase, you'll only end up with a grouchy marker. And we never want that. And there you go, guys, my top tip for managing your time well on exam essays. Don't skimp on the planning, work with time, not against it, be selective about the points you include, and make good use of line spacing and asterisks. I hope this helps and that you'll be implementing these tips next time you write an essay. As always, if you found this helpful, please do hit the thumbs up button below, subscribe to my channel, and switch on that bell notification so that you never miss a top grade English Lit Study video from me. And I'll see you guys in the next video.